Hello and welcome to Nature Days Outdoor Learning Resources, sponsored by the Gower Society. Now my challenge for you today is to create a spring flower timeline. Now there's a number of ways you can do this. You could do it like a graph, which would be a pictogram or a dispersion graph, or we could do it in a more creative way, looking at how the colours change as we go through the season, or we can do it in a scientific way to see how the species vary in their distribution, whether one comes up after the other, and whether there is an increase in the number of different species as we go through the season. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So, to create our timeline, we're going to start with our line. So this is going to be our x-axis, so along the bottom here. And along there, we're going to place our months. So we're going to start in February. So we're going to have Feb here, January down the bottom. Then we've got March, April, and then on to May. Then we could put in all of the days of the month if you want to be completely scientific. Next, in this space, we're going to put our pictograms of what we actually see. There's a few ways you can do that. You could draw them in. So, for example, the first flowers to come out were the snowdrops, and they came out just in the middle of January. So, I'm going to put a little snowdrop in here to show when they came out. After those, we had some crocuses just at the end of January. So put some crocuses in there. Then at the beginning of February, into the middle of February, we had our daffodils. So we'll draw some daffodils there. Then after those, we're not quite there yet, but we'll probably get our tulips. So depending on what time of year they come out, the date you put in to where they came out. So we've got our tulips. And then after those, we might have some lesser celandine, although I've actually seen some out already. So I'm going to put that in between the daffodils and the tulips. So we've got a lesser celandine with our heart-shaped leaves and our stalks, and then our 5 petals, oh, that's not very good, coming out. And then we carry on to see what comes out next. So in March, what's going to come out, in April and in May. So that's one way of doing it. You could also use photographs to take photographs of those and place those in the right locations. Or we could try and make it a bit more creative, a bit more artistic. Before this, we need our colours. So we're going to colour in our pictures. We're going to find out if there's a pattern in our colours. So starting with our snowdrops, they have quite a brighty green stem here. And of course we have our white flowers. Then we've got our crocuses here, which again, quite dark green stems and leaves. And we've got a number of colours, but I'm going to put in the purple ones because that's the ones I saw. So some purple flowers. Then our daffodils, of course, lovely light green leaves, stems, and of course our lovely yellow, sometimes with an orange flower on the top. Then our lesser celandine, bright green stem, dark green leaves, and then bright yellow petals. And last of all, on my picture, I've got my tulip, which has got very dark green leaves, sometimes mottled, And then of course the flower can be anything from purples to yellows to reds to pinks. So I'm going to put in a pink one. But again, there might be a pattern in which colour comes up first. So you could put in a number of tulips here. Maybe one colour comes first, then the next colour. There might be some kind of pattern in that as well. So we've got our pictogram down the bottom, which shows the timing of our spring, and then the drawings and the paintings of our flowers at the appropriate time. If you want to make it slightly more abstract, we could turn that just into a paint palette and try and see if there is some kind of pattern. So think about our earlier flowers. We've got our snowdrops, so we've got our whites. So we've got whites flowers. So this is our flower section. Then we've got our bright green stems. Going on to our crocuses, shushy birds, darker stems, and then our purple flowers. Onto our daffodils, lighter stems again. Bright yellow flowers, onto our lesser celandine, dark green leaves, bright yellow flowers, and onto our tulips, dark green again for our leaves, and any number of colours starting with pink. Maybe it goes on to be a different colour. Or we have our abstract version where we've just got a paint palette showing the different colours as the spring progresses. Now, if you create your own timeline of spring flowers, it's not going to necessarily be done today because, of course, spring is only just starting, but I'd love to see them. So please tweet them, #NatureDays on Twitter, or put them on the Facebook page. And I look forward to seeing you for our next Outdoor Learning Challenge.